Thank you for staying with us on World Now. After months of negotiations, the UK and EU now have an agreement on a new post-Brexit reset trade deal. Monday's talks were the first since Boris Johnson agreed the initial Brexit deal in January of 2020 when the UK left the European Union. Some of the main points put on the front burner include e-gate access for British passport holders in Europe, no health certificates every time pets travel to Europe, and the removal of red tape from most food and drink imports and exports. EU wanted permanent access to UK waters for fishing, but both sides have agreed on a deal which extends the current rules on fishing for 12 years. There will be no change to the current access for UK fishing communities, with no reduction in British quotas or increase in the amount the EU is allowed to catch, which is set annually. Sir Keir Starmer declared that Britain is back on the world stage, while President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, described the deal as historic. For Brussels, this negotiation was a chance to bring Britain, a major defense power, closer in a time of geopolitical turbulence. This means there will be a greater volume of diplomatic traffic between the UK and the EU going forward.
This is the first UK-EU summit, and it marks a new era in our relationship. And it's really good that we're able to meet around this table for this summit, the first of what will be of many summits as we progress through this new era. We on this side are following through on what the British public voted for last year, and the mission of this government to deliver security and renewal for our country and improve the lives of working people.
A new chapter that is so important in these times because we see the rise of geopolitical tensions, but we are like-minded. We share the same values. We know that we work shoulder by shoulder, hand in hand, when it's really coming to crisis and difficult moments. So we should use this moment also with this first summit to develop a roadmap, which is on the table here. It's an amazing, comprehensive roadmap that we have.
For more on this trade deal between the UK and European Union, global affairs analyst Benga Onifade joins me now from the UK. Good to have you join us, Mr. Onifade. You're on ground in the UK. How do you personally feel about this deal? And what are you hearing from people about their position on the trade reset deal?
Amelie, good afternoon. I think this is a big deal, to be fair. While some people feel like it does not represents them, you know, we're talking about the United Kingdom, a sovereign nation making a deal with the bloc which we left. You know, so why should we be doing that? This is entirely a sovereign nation. However, the other side who are benefiting, they feel like Brexit was all based on lies. We were sold a lie. UK got poorer as a result of that. And of course, you know, the fact that we left the EU does not mean we cannot trade with them. So, you know, I think also what we need to understand is this is the best deal with the closest trading nations, you know, around our shores. So, I mean, is it sunlit uplands? I would say a better deal than other nations outside the EU, really. So, you know, whether we believe them or not, I don't think it really matters at all. But, you know, leaving the EU has never meant not trading with them. There's a few things that will probably not benefit some personally, like I said. But if you look at so many young British people who have been trying to go to other countries in Europe to work and learn a language, understand the neighbors better, see the way the world works, and have not been able to do so. You know, most of them they've had no say to them all this while. But now, leaving the EU, you know, while they left the EU, but now this is now a lot more easier. You know, it's like a pretty raw deal for them. So obviously, this probably means that they've got a better chance at life, and of course, like the other countries who are trading together. So yeah, I think it's actually a better deal for some, especially the youngins. All
right. Shortly, we'll talk about, you know, how it's impacting young people, especially who want to, you know, visit other countries, you know, there in Europe.
It's expensive in the UK than France. France is literally 20 minutes away from where I am. So she can't have it all, unfortunately, Kemi, and of course the opposition.
All right, and talking about those other aspects of the deal, e-gate access, you've just spoken about that for British passport holders in Europe, the fact that there wouldn't be health certificate every time that pets have to travel to Europe, and of course also the removal of red tape from most food and drink imports and export. How is this likely to impact Britain's and by extension the UK's economy?
We believe this is actually a greater deal. The economy, the UK economy has actually been struggling, no matter how we see. Every little ounce of good news, we just want to celebrate it. So, people are struggling. There's inflation. Wages are not climbing as fast as the cost of things. So, I think while it's good in the pocket, it's not exactly going to make you rich. But I think it's a win for Starmer. I mean, on the other side, if you think about it, he's doing deals left, right, and center. Just about a month ago, he had a deal with India, just had one with Donald Trump, now another one with EU. And, we're talking about, even just based on your previous question, Kevin's been struggling at the party. They've been struggling to get a deal since 2015. And, Keir Starmer has literally been able to get it done in 5 minutes. I mean, if you look at this thing, we're talking about the reset, the allies and friends, 12 years of boats, we're talking about no checks on animals, e-gates, youth experience. There's quite a lot. It's like a new era. So I think it's a mental win for the government and for the people.
And how do you suppose this latest deal impacts Prime Minister Keir Starmer's approval rating among Britons?
Well, Boris Johnson couldn't get it done. Everyone thought he was the guy to get it done. Theresa May couldn't get it done. So, Keir Starmer literally just got it done like that. I mean, 3 deals in the space of 2 months. We've got this reform party surging and, making themselves felt. So I think this is great generally for Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Keir Starmer's actually he's been on shaky legs for a while now. He's only been there a year or just about. He's been on shaky legs, but with these things which tend to seem impossible, he's getting them done without having to totally break a sweat, if I can say. So I think it definitely is a mood for Labour. It's a personal win for Starmer, and of course, general win for the United Kingdom as well.
And you left at least trust in that